Hartman? No, not Hartman, my best friend, but Jay Hartman with Jay Hartman Prints. That's right, the local artist here in Fairborn that has phenomenal sunsets and sunrise views, all for your viewing to see here, actually at Dayton Discount Furniture, or you can check his stuff out on his Facebook page. But right now, come on in and let's talk about everything he's got to offer.
Welcome to the Dayton Approved Podcast with Frank O'Neill. This is where the local Dayton businesses get a spotlight.
Welcome to Dayton Approved, exploring Dayton's small businesses and nonprofits with Dayton Discount Furniture. Today we have Jay Hartman with Jay Hartman Prints. How are you doing today, Jay?
I'm well. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're very excited to have you here and hear your story about how you got into doing the print photography.
Yep. Let's get started.
All right. Well, what we like to start off with is typically little bits and pieces of the mission statement. And I noticed you got a couple of things here on your mission statement that you pointed out. And the first thing that I noticed there is you really are about sharing art. So why don't you tell us about what that means to you?
Well, I started my career in graphic arts at a vocational school where I got to pick. Sometimes your vocation picks you, and
yeah.
I got to pick. And graphic arts was part of that work experience, and photography was a big part of that curriculum. So
yeah.
I've always enjoyed taking pictures from as long as I can remember, and got into it that way as far as graphic arts. So
okay, cool. And another thing that you said that part of your mission statement is inspiring others to follow their dreams.
Yep. So art is subjective.
Yeah.
People see different things. But
the beauty's in the eye of the beholder,
yes,
they say.
Exactly.
Yes.
So some people enjoy painting. Some people and some people have actually looked at my prints and said, "How do you paint that?" And I tell them, "You're going to be disappointed because this is photography."
Yeah.
But especially young people. I got a neighbor that started spray painting pictures.
Okay.
Really, really cool stuff. And he's young, and just sharing that stuff with people and rooting him on and helping him out, and it's very cool. So
yeah, no, that's great. That's great. And then another point of your mission statement is that you share the importance of supporting local businesses, or I guess I should say actually supporting local arts and businesses.
Yeah.
It's not just businesses.
So there are a ton of artists out there who, fortunately for me, I have a full-time job, and this is kind of my passion, but there are people that support themselves with art.
They have to support only with art, and with that, it's got to be a struggle.
It could be very difficult. So and with the economy and things like that, it's difficult to get in front of people. It really is. So that's where the term starving artist comes from.
Right. Yes, that's right. The starving artist. That's very true. That's very true. Well, cool. Well, that jumps us right into your story. So I know you talked a little bit about how you got started with the vocational school, but why don't you kind of start there and then lead us down the path of how it all got to where we were at.
I went to Patterson Co-op in Dayton, which was a actual vocational school that you went to school 2 weeks.
So, sorry to interrupt you. I am going to interrupt you sometimes, but you said here in Dayton. So does that mean you are a Dayton native?
I am a Dayton native, correct.
All right.
Born and raised.
That's what we like here at Dayton Approved.
Yeah, never lived anywhere else.
Okay.
But downtown Dayton, actually, where I think it's CareSource sits now, it was where I went to school. And we went to school 2 weeks and went to work 2 weeks.
Okay.
So, and when I graduated from that program, they hired me full time. And that particular company was a silk screen printing company.
Okay.
So I got to work in the graphic arts department, making films and silk screens and all that fun stuff. So I was there for 28 years, 28 plus
28 years.
Before they sold the business and the new owners closed that plant down. Yeah. So that's how I kind of got into graphic arts and photography and where I'm at now. Yeah.
Okay. So so you're there for 28 years, and I know that before that place went out of business, you started another business, which was a photography business, and you had a business partner, right?
Yeah. Well, it kind of overlaps a little bit, but late teens, we started a photography company, correct?
Okay.
Yeah, and that was with people, which, people can be difficult to take pictures of, and
Right.
some people are very unhappy. And
So what were some of the things you did? Was it like, I think you said like weddings?
yeah, we did a couple weddings, and mainly we did family
Family portraits.
or
Okay.
we actually did some generational pictures, 5 generations, I believe.
Oh, wow.
We did a lot of graduation pictures,
Yeah.
as well as some birthday stuff. But the one one of the last ones we got to do was of a dog who was diagnosed with cancer, and
Oh,
their
wow.
owners, was very attached and asked us to come out and take some pictures of that dog before they had to put it down. So
Yeah.
it was very, very interesting, very difficult, but
Yeah.
very, very neat to see their reaction with their dog.
Yeah. What type of dog was it?
It was, I think it was a pretty much a mutt, but it was
Yeah.
a really dark black dog on a snowy day with white. With
Oh, cool.
white-
So it was snowing
yeah,
out and everything.
Yeah, so it
I
was,
bet you got some really cool pictures.
we did, and they were very happy, but some were very happy pictures and some were very sad pictures.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of that bittersweet.
Yeah. So they really appreciate the pictures. But that was one of the last things we got to do.
Yeah. Yeah. So then you and your partner decided to stop doing that, and
Yeah.
then you started. So you did that from about 2019 to 21 is what we were saying.
Yep.
And then in 21 is when you started your own print business.
Yeah, my partner suggested that I've always taken pictures for as long as I can remember. But
Yeah,
I
it's always been a passion of
with
yours.
with Facebook or whatever.
Yeah.
I took sunrise and sunset pictures and posted them, and she said you really should do something with these pictures.
Yeah.
So I started looking at how to print them and get them on canvas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's interesting about now, from what I've seen in the art that you do now, is it really doesn't have people in it.
No people.
Yeah. So
It's
so you were doing people, now you're doing no people.
no people.
Fair enough.
The sun can't complain about how it looks smiling. So,
Right.
Or that angle or whatever.
Yeah. So I know that you have a lot of sunset, sunrises. There's some other pictures you've
Yeah.
got that are pretty
Yep.
cool.
Yep.
I know some docks.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
just talk about,
Yep.
let's talk more about some of the more, I don't know. I don't know if you want to say famous or your favorites or however you want to put it. Yeah.
I like to take local pictures, so a lot of what I post now, or in some of what I have printed, is most of it in Ohio. Now I have a sister-in-law and brother-in-law that live in Florida, so I get to go take pictures in Florida.
Right.
Not really often, but 2 or 3 times a year. So some of
Yeah.
them are water pictures, but I like to see the sun in there, the sunset. Try to take them at what they call the golden hour.
Yeah.
Which is that golden sun an hour before it either sets or rises, and it's just
Yeah.
a good time. There's no shadows, and I like to. I mean, if you drive by Wright Pat Airstrip, the base there, it's got a big open field, and when the corn's high and the sun's coming up,
Yeah.
it's really, really cool to take pictures like that.
Yeah, that sounds like a really cool
Yeah,
picture. So that's really cool. So it's local pictures here, typically, maybe some in
Yeah,
Florida.
yeah, just a
But-
few, but
But most of them are here locally in Dayton.
yep, Dayton, Center. I've got some from Put-in Bay, which
Okay.
is one is a really cool vineyard.
Yeah.
Fairborn, some in Vandalia, Centerville, Huber Heights, all around the area. Yeah. But
Yeah.
a majority of what I post, since I work in Fairborn, a lot
Yeah.
of what I post is in Fairborn. So
Yeah, so it's also native here in Fairborn. So
yep,
we love that.
yep.
We love everything Dayton.
right.
Well, that's cool. So yeah, that's pretty interesting, an inspiring story. I mean, really, you pretty much always enjoyed it.
Yep.
Worked with the company for 28 years,
Yep.
which is fascinating
Yep.
in itself. That had to do something with photography and whatnot, and art.
Yep.
And then you kept that passion going, and you're doing it on your own now.
Yep.
So that's
So,
really cool.
yep.
That's really cool.
Trying to make it happen.
Exactly. So, well, that's awesome. So let's talk about some different things that you've done to be able to contribute in the local community and economy.
Okay. So one of the things that I find really fun to do is some nonprofit things I've done. Work with a cancer research group that I think it's the Pink Ladies and up in St. Mary's. And,
Yeah.
And a group called the Gray Riders motorcycle. They're local here in Fairborn, just a group of motorcycles who you think are really rough around the edges, tough guys, but they have a heart of gold, and they raise a ton of money for.
I know the Gray Riders really do.
I've
heard about them. They've been around Fairborn for a while, and it's they do a lot of good.
Yeah, they do.
A lot of good.
And they have a big pig roast every year, and they actually one of the guys bought a couple pictures from me, and I donated one or two and auctioned them off and to the highest bidder. And one of the things that was really cool was one was a flag picture printed on metal, and they paired it with a set of World War II letters from somebody that donated.
Wow!
And they were able to raise, I think it went for $350 for that group.
Wow!
Yeah. And then I also got to participate in the Troy Historical Preservation Society to raise money to save the old courthouse.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody remembers, but a few years back it was damaged by a severe tornado.
Yeah.
And the owners was just going to knock it down, and the Historical Society got involved and said, we want to buy it.
Yeah.
And they raised the money in various ways, but a big part of that was through artists donating pictures and stuff to auction off. And
to help preserve it and keep it alive.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That picture I took I think they sold it for $800. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I didn't. It was not my money, but it was really cool to see that.
Yeah, but helping went to a good cause.
Yeah, absolutely. And watching the price go up and up online, it was really neat. So.
Yeah. Of course, I'm sure it made you feel good and special. You're like, I did. I made a cool picture.
It went for $800.
Yeah. That's true. That's really true. That's funny. So I know you do some other things that you do to help support. I know one of the things you said was a Little League baseball team.
Well, they do that. The Gray Riders actually raise that money, and whatever they disperse. They do two things. One is the riding for toys for Christmas, and they have a big trailer that they fill with toys after the bike ride. And I think they had over 4,000 bikes. But this particular auction, they donate to support the Little League, food pantries, all kinds of stuff just here in Fairborn. Yeah. And so I'm sure when people hear the Gray Riders, somebody knows somebody. Everybody knows somebody that's with the Gray Riders.
Yeah, somebody's involved with them.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. Well, what are some of the things that I guess I could say sets your your photography or your business with the prints different than some of the other places that are out there?
Yeah. So. You'll usually see, even if it's hidden, the sunrise or the sun's somewhere in there. I try to typically grab it somewhere. Yeah. It's just, every day is a new day. So when I get up in the morning, or depending on the time of year, sometimes it's later, but try to catch the sunset.
Yeah, you got an opportunity to take a picture.
And if somebody says, I want that picture printed, then I can do that for them really quick. So, also I want to try to take pictures that look like you can just walk right into. That is a real a scene that you could say, hey, that looks like.
Maybe you're looking out the window or something.
I was there yesterday. Yeah. Or looking out the car window. Yeah. Driving down the road. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
So that's what I try to. Yeah.
It's a different approach and definitely a unique perspective to try and catch. Now, I know you said also that the majority of your pictures are taken here in Dayton too.
Correct.
Well as what you're saying. So that's another differentiator that you've got compared, I guess you say, other artists.
I mean, one of the bigger ones I printed was, like I said, taken in Centerville, and it turned out really the colors were real blue and orange, so it really goes together, and that's part of that golden hour we talked about.
Yeah.
It's taken right here in Centerville. So.
Wow.
Right in Dayton. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really cool.
I've also taken pictures off the Huffman Dam. So. A lot of fun, yeah. There's a lot of good places to go around here if you really try. You don't have to go. You don't necessarily have to go to Florida.
Right.
Not a bad place to go, but you don't have to take pictures.
Hey, you should tell my ex that. She loves Florida. Obsessed with Florida. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. No denying that. So.
But that's funny. So I mean that's cool because. There are a lot of interesting, unique places in Dayton that I don't think get enough credit or enough, awareness that it's there, and then to take pictures from too.
Yeah.
I mean, just really, just kind of amazing. I mean, I think Carillon Park is a great place to go too.
Oh, absolutely. Carillon Park, Carriage Hill,
Yeah.
with the red barn there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many cool things there. They got.
What's the park? I can't remember the name of the park with the trolls.
Oh, that's good. I can't
But
remember.
I
Yeah.
recently took a picture there and sold that. Just
Really?
it was the fall, yeah,
Yeah.
and walking the path. The leaves were all different colors. Yeah, yeah.
And that's the other cool thing about Dayton too is you get all 4 seasons.
Yep.
You don't get that everywhere.
And
You really don't.
The person who bought that picture bought the spring. It was a fall one, and then I had a winter one. They said my husband wants this
Yeah.
one, and I want this one.
Yeah, there you go.
Different offices at home. So
Yeah. Well, if you get really lucky in Dayton, you might be able to get all 4 seasons in one day.
Yeah, that's true. Wasn't that long ago? It was 70 degrees.
Well, let's talk about.
Allwood, that's the name of the place. Allwood, it came to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, yeah. Let's talk about some of your recent successes or milestones that you've hit or achieved here. In your business.
Well, 2 things come. We've already talked a little bit about Troy, but it was really neat to go in this building that has been around since the 1800s, and go in the original courthouse, and then, of course, you're wearing hard hats because there's damage, and got up to the top.
Super old.
Yeah, got up to the top, and there was birds in the rafters, and so they were able to raise enough money to save that building. And I don't know if people may remember, but the whole street was blocked off for a significant, I think it was a year at least, that you couldn't drive by that building because it was deemed unsafe.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that when they got involved, between the artists and the auction, and they had some dinners and things like that, they actually were able to stabilize the building and preserve it. So
Yeah.
So and the other thing you and I talked about was that art is difficult to get out there, but I've been fortunate enough to sell my 101st picture. So I've sold over 100
Wow.
prints.
Yeah. That is definitely an achievement.
So it's a big deal. So
Getting into that triple digits. Now we got to get you into 4 digits now, sir.
right.
4.
Well, that's the goal. We can have a new goal. So,
There you go. Yeah. Well, congratulations.
Oh, I appreciate
That's
it, yeah.
great. And it's really not too hateful considering, it's only been, like you said, about 3.5 years.
Just a few years. And I've sold pictures for Father's Day, for Mother's Day, for offices. I don't think I even told you this, but one time I even made a calendar, which was really fun.
Really?
Yeah. So
that is
took
cool.
several of the prints that people like the most and let them choose and make a calendar. I think it was 2021.
Okay.
So I didn't get to do it last year, but
Yeah.
that just came to mind. I think I might be doing that again. So,
Yeah, that's cool. That's not a bad idea,
Yeah,
a
I
calendar.
actually found a local company in Dayton.
There you go. That's what we
to
like.
have a
We love
print.
local and local.
And that's what everybody should try to do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I completely agree with
So
you.
100 prints. I was excited when come on, buy the next one. One more.
Right.
One more.
Yeah, exactly. I know what you mean. I remember when I was when I first learned the furniture business, I was in Savannah. That's where I learned it.
Oh, okay.
And I was running it for a buddy of mine. And I just remember the most, I think at that time, I had like 10 sales, we'll just say. I don't remember what the exact number is. But I've never hit 10 before. And like I hit it.
Oh, there you go.
And it was right at the end of the day. And I was just like, one more. Just one more customer. Just give me one more. I don't care if it's just like something small. Give me one more. I'm ready for it. One more.
One more time.
Yeah, just one more.
It means little to nothing to most people, but to you, it's a big deal.
Yeah, and that was cool. I was real excited because.
And it seemed like there was a big gap between 99 and 100. Just took forever.
Yeah, it does. It does. But then it just keeps going. That's how you do it. So what are some challenges you face as a small business owner? We've all hit challenges these days.
Oh, yeah. Well, so when I take pictures, I have them printed. I don't print them myself. Mm-hmm. So I send it to a company or a few companies I use, and the cost of shipping is just incredible.
Yeah.
And so that expense and then just material costs rise. It's just not cheap.
Yeah.
And that's why right now I call this a hobby and it doesn't pay the bills. But, everybody knows the cost of living has gone up in inflation. But shipping has really increased even for me over the cost of material percentage-wise. significant. So,
Wow.
shipping a picture to myself or someone can be 25 to $30.
Yeah. So just shipping
depending on
alone
the size.
can
Yes,
get you,
yes. So it's not cheap, and I tried to package them together,
Yeah.
and they charge individually shipping costs. Even if
Yeah.
they ship them together, they'll charge separate. So
Of course.
Yeah.
They're always trying to get you on the shipping.
so cost is a big issue, and I'm not a quitter, so I don't quit. So I figure out ways to work
Yeah.
around it or whatever. But
Yeah.
everybody's paying more, so
Yeah, that's just
I'm
what
sure
you got to do.
Yeah, exactly. So.
And let's see, what's the other thing you were saying? It's just like getting in front of people. Just getting
just
advertising, I
having
guess, or our audience,
somebody
or whatever.
to listen. Not the people. I mean, if I put it out there, most people are pretty receptive. But to get the audience is timing and
Yeah.
day-to-day life and a lot of again, art is subjective. So having the right thing and somebody wants to see it is just some people like.
You just
to
never
deal with
know.
painting. You never know. I think that's how. Did I shoot you a?
Yeah, I was going to say,
message?
I mean, you got to think, so it's kind of funny how we met. You shoot me a message over on Facebook.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, you interested in putting local artists in the
Yeah.
business? I'm like, well, yeah, as long as it's, makes sense, it's reasonable. And you're like, yeah. And we chat on, so we set a time to meet,
Yep.
and we did, and it made sense.
Yep.
And, next thing you know, it's like, hey, we got a podcast here. And you're like, well, yeah, let's do it. So,
Yep.
just that's kind of how it works. It just snowballs when you
Yep.
start getting out there, networking, meeting, and doing your thing. The universe will bring
gotta
you to
reach
where you
out.
need to
Yeah,
be.
exactly. Yep. So that's why we're here, right?
Yeah.
Supporting each other.
Absolutely.
That's the point. Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yep.
That's exactly what
Yep.
it's all about. Which brings us right to, how do you collaborate with other local businesses and organizations?
Well, and I think we talked a little bit about advertising or whatever, and it's just
Yeah.
not, normal television is just not cheap. But
No.
most of the things I've been lucky enough to do, or as far as advertising, has been online.
Yeah.
Reaching out to different, and email is, kind of odd sometimes because people
Yeah.
read them or they don't, but Facebook, I think you have a website, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
So those types of things, really, it just collaborating with people and trying to connect and
Yeah.
figure out how things could work together.
Right,
Which
exactly.
is out of the box kind of thinking.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
You got to
Yeah.
think like, okay, how are we going to do this? How are we going to do something a little
how
bit
can
different?
we network?
Yeah, and then how can this work out, or how can we come together and figure this stuff out together?
Yep.
That's what it comes down to.
And I think when I came back the second time, you said I had an idea.
Yes, I had an idea, which we're going to
Sleep
talk
on
about.
it.
Yeah. But also, you said that a lot of things here too this is where you talked about going to different festivals.
Yeah.
A lot of local
Yep.
different festivals. So let's talk about those festivals.
Let's start here in Fairborn.
Yeah.
So I participated once or twice in the Halloween festival.
Mm-hmm.
I sold it was a big moonrise picture at
Okay.
the. I can't think of the name. One of the stores downtown. It was really cool, and they displayed it for a week, and then somebody actually bought it.
Yeah.
Couple weeks, I think. Anyway, so I participated in that. I've been to an art show, and I think it's called the Art Walk in Dayton. All the way as far as St. Mary's. They have I involved in a exhibit there. Sydney has an amazing art show that I've been to several times, as well as Tip City Art Fair, I believe it's called. We did that show, as well as local in Huber Heights. I've done the Marigold Festival.
Yeah.
So you try to put yourself out there, and the reason I thought about the calendar was because one festival, that's all I sold was calendars. Not a picture one, but
Really?
yeah,
But sold all calendars.
The calendars were a
They
big
were a
hit.
hit.
Yeah, exactly. So you just try to put yourself out there, and festivals, they have stuff invested in it, so they're not cheap. Those prices are going up too. So back to the cost. Cost is just
Yeah.
putting
Yeah.
yourself out there and being able to afford to do it.
Right.
So.
No, it's very true. I mean, it's not cheap to do stuff like that, and then you got to come up with the, money up front.
Yep, the money up front, and
And then hopefully somebody buys it.
yeah, somebody, and a lot of times they don't.
Yeah.
And you second guess yourself and say, why didn't nobody like my stuff?
Yeah. So then you get the. It's funny. I was talking to it was a guy. He does film festival, and he was saying there was a I forget what he called it, but there is a certain sort of syndrome he called it, where artists and people that do movies and stuff like that, they get, and it's like it's that self doubt. It's like, am I that good?
Yeah.
Is it that I'm not doing it right? Like, and it's not that. It's just not getting to the right audience. It's
But
just not
you still got to cheer for. I mean, you got to cheer for people who sell stuff that day too. So
yeah.
It was funny because the Germantown Library had an art exhibit I was involved in. It was a month long, and they had a big opening. And they don't sell art there, but you can ask to buy it later. And one of the artists sent an email saying, "I sold all 3 of my things, and they were great. They were watercolor paintings." And I was like,
Yeah.
you know that. But I'm so happy for her. She did
Yeah.
really well. So
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, that also brings us to. Well, no, we don't talk about. I guess we'll talk about that now. I guess we're going to talk about different initiatives and projects that you're currently working on that you're excited about.
So one of the things I've recently started doing, which is really, really neat, is because of the Troy thing fundraiser, I printed. That was my first print on metal.
Yeah.
And
so tell us a little bit what a metal print is.
So they come. Depends on how you buy it, but it's basically an aluminum sheet of metal. I've only printed on 16 by 24, I believe.
Okay.
But anyway, it's the same idea as a canvas print, but they actually print it on metal and a thin sheet of metal. And depending on the picture you put on there, you can see the metal behind it.
Okay.
Which is really cool, and it catches the light different, and it's just a really neat alternative to the type of pictures I print versus canvas. So.
Yeah. So cool. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I've necessarily seen a metal print, so that's why.
Well, I have one. I haven't had it. So when I buy my product, I buy it to be printed.
Yeah.
So I can pick and choose which one it is. So maybe I'll get one. I'll try to get one before.
Yeah. Well, to check it out.
Yeah. So
that'd be cool.
I think I got one left to use.
Okay.
To have printed. Yeah.
Oh, well, good deal.
Yeah. So
good deal.
It'd be neat to have one here.
Exactly. Which brings us to doing the art show.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess tell everyone about how we're doing this, or how we decided on this.
As we talked briefly, I was watching one of your sales pitches. In my head, I'm like, hey, they got pictures back there.
Yeah.
That should be my pictures.
Yeah.
So I sent Frank a message saying, hey, would you be interested in looking at some prints to sell? And he said, sure, depending on the cost.
Yeah.
Because if you're selling $500 to $1,000 prints, it's just not going to happen.
Right.
It's not the right environment. And I'm like, no, we don't need to do that. But let me bring some in and see what you think. So we chatted a little bit, and I brought in pictures and laid them all out. And he was like, this is cool. I got a wall back here. So yeah, we'll hang them up here and see what happens.
Yeah.
So we talked about how to price them and making sure that we had everything situated, named, and everything like that, and come back tomorrow. And when I came back, you said, I was thinking.
That's right.
Why don't we have an art show?
Yeah.
Right here in the store.
Exactly.
So that's kind of how it came about, and so I'll let you kind of explain what you want to do as far as the.
Yeah.
I want to give it all away, but we're going to have a big, hopefully a big to do here in Fairborn.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, we've got a whole wall set up that's going to have all of Jay's pictures up, or different ones, different sizes, different pictures, and that way everyone can kind of see the artwork that he's got. And basically, we're going to do an art show. It's going to be for 2 hours. It's going to be on April 5th from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock.
Yep.
And I've got a whole bunch of wine. So we're going to be pouring free wine to anyone that wants wine. And then we can kind of all look at the artwork, discuss it, and just do an art show.
Yeah, see what everybody thinks and meet everybody and have them in the store and let them
So it's going to be a completely free event. Come free. I don't know if we're going to have hors d'oeuvres. I haven't decided yet. We'll see. We'll see what the budget looks like for me. But
Right. And they
we're
can-
going to make it as big as and fancy as possible.
And there'll be, lots of furniture to sit on because,
course.
well, it's going to be in a furniture store.
Yeah.
So, you can browse the furniture, browse the store, and
Yep.
and look at the art and have a glass of wine, and everybody should be happy.
Yeah. So it's going to be a great opportunity to view art. It's going to be a great opportunity to view furniture.
Yep.
It's going to be a win-win
And
for
it's
everyone.
going to be
and
in
free wine.
And it's going to be in the spring, so hopefully
That's
the
right.
snow will
It's
be gone.
and it'll be warm.
Warmer, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll do it right here at downtown Fairborn. So it's going to be pretty exciting to do.
So, and hopefully we can, talk to other people. Maybe somebody else might want to be involved with you. And
Yeah, we might
yeah.
get some. Who knows? You never know. Somebody else might say, "Hey, you know what? I
think
want
we
to pick
should-
up and sponsor
we
it."
should-
and we'll
you
do
shouldn't
this.
get the hors d'oeuvres. I think you should ask Papa John's right next door.
That's right. There you go.
There you go.
Papa John's has been a great business partner with me.
There you go.
Whenever I do something, they always say, "All right, we'll give you 50% off.
Right,
We'll
right.
give you the 50% deal." I'm like, "Heck yeah!" So we tell people, like,
Yeah.
"Hey, just mention this. You get
They're
50%
always,
today."
they've
They're-
always been good local.
They
Yeah,
are
yeah,
amazing.
yep.
They really are great.
So you never know.
Yeah, yeah.
never know.
So we'll see. We'll figure that all out. But yeah, we do know that we know the date. We know the time. Again, it's going to be April 5th from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock here at Dayton Discount Furniture. Free wine, we know for sure.
Exactly.
How can
yeah.
you go wrong with that?
And maybe we'll auction or we'll raffle off a picture.
Okay, yeah, we can
That'd
figure
be
that
fun,
out too.
yeah, yeah.
That'll be fun. That'll
Yeah.
be exciting.
Yep.
So cool. Yeah, I can't wait for that. Well, Jay, why don't you tell everyone how to get a hold of you? If somebody's like, "Hey, I want to check out your artwork. I want to buy something.
Yeah.
I want to see what you got going on," why don't you let?
So I've looked
us
at
know.
several things, and the websites are great, but it just didn't work for me. So my best way for looking at art and talking with people is Facebook. So it's just very simple to search Jay Hartman prints on Facebook,
Okay.
and it'll pop right up. I'm the only one there, so. And you'll see pictures that I have. If you question, you got the right place. Just look for the sunrise or sunset. So
There you go. That's right. Sunrise, sunset.
there you go.
You know what else I was thinking that's great is anyone that's out there doing like a local Airbnb that just wants to put a little Dayton in there for
Yeah,
those visitors from
yeah.
out of town. Great artwork.
Yep.
Because if you think about it, these Airbnbs out there, I deal with a decent amount of people that do that too. They don't really ever get artwork, or they just do generic, or they're just like whatever, But this would be a great way to kind of show Dayton in a different light.
Exactly,
And it's very economical
And
and
one of the
affordable.
things we talked about was that there's really no market for pictures in the bathroom, but
Yeah.
a lot of them, the smaller ones that I have end up here,
Yeah.
and you can see them right here in the store. So
Yeah,
the
it's
smaller
very true. He's got
sizes-
very small pictures that are perfect for bathrooms, and a lot of people are like, "What am I going to pick?" How do you? Because bathrooms are small.
Yep.
So you can't have a big picture, but
Yep.
you do want something different, and unique there.
and you can see them all the sizes right here.
Yeah,
right
again,
here.
very economical,
Yep.
very
Yep.
affordable, and 100% local. Which
Yep,
is what's
all
exciting.
local. Yep.
Yeah, so that's really cool. Really cool. Well, awesome. How is there any words of wisdom? Is what I always call it here at the end.
Well,
that you like to say.
I always tell people, don't ever quit your passion. Now, we both work full-time jobs, but obviously you're doing the podcast separately,
Yeah.
and my passion is making pictures,
Yeah.
taking pictures and posting them, and I've been playing around with putting a little music behind them to make them look better or sound
Right.
better. So, but don't ever quit your passion. Don't ever quit. So
All right.
that's what I tell people. Don't
Well,
ever quit.
That's good sound advice. All right, Jay. Well, it was a pleasure having you here
Well,
today.
I appreciate your time, and everything you've put into this already is amazing, and I think everybody should come and support. I think they should come and support
Absolutely.
Discount Furniture in Fairborn.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Yep.
All right. Well, Jay, until next time, I will see you here for the show.
Yeah,
So we'll see you soon
and,
for that.
And you're going to let me know as soon as you get them hung up so I can
Absolutely.
take pictures.
Yep,
and,
yep, we're gonna
and
get that
we'll,
all
We'll get all
done.
the stuff rolled out. And
yeah, that'll be happening this weekend. So, but before this thing airs, we'll have it all ready
All
to go.
right.
So when
Sounds-
people listen to this, they'll be able to come
Yep.
check out the art.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
All right, Jay. Until next time, we'll
Yep.
talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Follow to our Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, or your favorite podcast platform. Be sure to sign up for our email list and receive an email to watch the show. Wednesday at 8 a.m. Do you know a great Dayton business that you would like to see on the show? Visit our website at DaytonApproved.com and click on the Contact tab and tell us who you'd like to see.